Hi, welcome to the 1 in 20 show, where we're looking to find the next 1 in 20 successful individuals who are pursuing their passions so that you can too. And today we're joined by Alvin. Alvin Cailan is a culinary artist from Los Angeles. He originally created the popular breakfast spot Eggslut, which eventually led him to opening his restaurant in New York City called The Usual. He is currently working on a new Filipino-American fusion restaurant called Amboy, which will open later this year. He also hosts the ever-popular burger show with First We Feast on YouTube. He is a food connoisseur and overall great guy who is changing the world with every bite. What's up, dude?
How you doing, man?
Thanks for being on.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for having me here.
Oh, of course, dude.
It's really cool. Just being in Soho and New York and doing a couple of these, it's fun every time.
Yeah, man, it's great. It's a little rainy outside, but it's still, New York has like a crazy, weird, like energy. So hopefully you felt it.
It's sick. Yeah, I was walking around Manhattan the other night and just realizing it's probably the safest place I could be with all the cops and it's daylight all the time.
Manhattan is completely different from the way it used to be. I used to come here a lot when I was younger because I have a lot of family in Jersey. So it's completely different. And living here now, it's crazy. It's very safe and it's weird. Yeah. It's just weird to say that.
Yeah. Well, so you're from LA,
born and raised,
which is really cool. You're a chef. For anybody who doesn't know, you've got the burger show. You created Eggslut.
Yes.
This is right now The Usual that we're sitting in.
Yeah,
your new restaurant.
And then we have another restaurant that we're building right now called Amboy, which is my Filipino concept. And then we have like a rooftop. We're doing like East LA style Chicano food. Yeah.
So what made you want to get into being a chef and cooking? And all
God. I was, I went the regular route traditionally, went to college, graduated college. Really just did not like working in a cubicle and didn't like just every day. It was at the time where this is when, America was bailing out banks and, majority of my work was dealing with banks.
Sure.
And seeing where money was being spent. And I just felt like I needed to do something different and I just didn't feel right doing it. But I loved cooking at the same time. I started dishwashing at 15 and a half. And I worked in a commercial kitchen until I was, 18. Yeah. And then just having that like love for food, and doing it professionally was something that I wanted to come back to, and I realized that once it starts to like captivate your entire mind and body, then you should probably pursue it, And so I packed up my bags and left, and I went to culinary school.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, I just left to Portland, didn't tell a soul. My brother came with me, helped me move, and then. The rest is history. Yeah,
that's really cool. Something that's kind of special I've noticed is that, because we're human, we have to eat. Food like transcends the arts and culture and all that. And so like speak to the culinary arts. Like how is it different than somebody who's pursuing a route as like a photographer or a filmmaker?
Right. Well, I mean, it's a craft, right? Yeah. So, it's definitely like you could definitely be an amazing cook or chef at home without the experience. You're making one dish at a time. Sure. But the craft of it is doing it 150 times flawlessly. And that takes time, right? Like you start off as a culinary artist, then you become a craftsman. And once you master the craftsman part of it, then you're a professional artist. Yeah. Right? Which is like an art, like you could be an artist, you could be a street artist, and then you could be a fine artist, right? So that struggle in between is what becomes your fine art and what defines who you are. And then like, obviously with art, it's through emotion and experience and all that stuff. So essentially you find yourself, and then the cooking that you start doing is now soul art. Yeah. And it's just like it's like leveling up. So that's kind of that was my process, and it's been a lot of process. It's been the process for a lot of people that I know, and like culinarily, it starts off with just passion,
Yeah. And I think that's something that transcends all the genres of art, right? Of the arts.
Yeah.
Is the passion to get there. And we mentioned even before we started how important the hustle is and how the hustle is so not understood by people.
Right.
How would you define the hustle through the arts, but like specifically in the culinary arts?
Oh, man. During my era, the hustle was very hard because I grew up in the culinary world where celebrity chef was what people wanted to be. They wanted to be Emerald. They wanted to be Bobby Flay. And I didn't want to be that. And I think that's kind of the energy that actually propelled me in my career was I wanted to be the guy behind the scenes. And so the struggle was real. Some kids, they go to culinary school and they enter the culinary scene and they already have agents.
Yeah.
They already have people who are like putting them into places. But there's a fabric that you miss. And that fabric is true experience, like what happens when, the gas shuts off in the middle of service and how do you react to that and how do you fix it and how do you continue? What if the lights turn off? What if your dishwasher quits right in the middle of service? Like those are the types of things that like harden you and also it like sharpens you. And so I wanted to go through that. Like I said, like by any means necessary, that's why it was my in my head. And it was like, how do I get to become an amazing chef without cutting corners and doing it right? And the trick was just patience. It was just patience. Like your time comes and hard work does not go unnoticed. You know what I mean? So I fell into that stereotype.
Yeah, that's awesome. Something that seems to be a misnomer, I think, is how to get there. And for people who do hustle real hard and they put in all their hours and late nights and those people, I feel eventually will get there no matter who they are. But at the same time, it does take talent. It does take that
for sure
talent itself before you can.
Well, that's there's a thing, right, where I've been in the culinary industry for over 10 years now, and I've been a business owner for 7. So like when I'm hiring people, yeah, sure, talent makes a lot. Like if I met someone and they're just like uber talented, that's impressive. But it's like you see their resume and they're super talented, but they've only worked at certain places for 3 months because their talent has become more important than the actual struggle. And so talent is one part of the mix, but hard work to me and just enjoying the ride is really more important. So like whenever I hire people and I see someone who's worked for like Jean-Georges for 3.5 years, that's a grueling 3.5 years. And so if he gave him 3.5 years, I would be glad to see him work for me for like 3 months. You know what I mean? If it goes longer than that, then awesome.
Yeah. Totally. Speak to Eggslut, how you started it. I know that's an LA brand that you created. And
well, I mean, like I said, I was in the background. I was a sous chef for a majority of my professional career, and it just seemed like I would never get that call to be an executive chef. And at a certain point in time, life catches up to you. Rent, car payment, credit card payments, life, girlfriends, fiancés, whatever. And as a minority, it was like, am I ever going to get this opportunity? Because I've been passed up by younger kids who are not as talented or not as hardworking as I am, but were in a better position. And so I took matters upon my own hands, and I literally bet it all on black, and I put all my money on the food truck. And I started Eggslut because I think coming from the culinary world in Portland, where breakfast is king, breakfast in LA is not, or was not. Everyone would rather get a Starbucks muffin and a coffee and eat it in traffic than stop and get an actual breakfast. And so I kind of wanted to like entertain that world and see if I could create a fast casual concept where you can eat a decent breakfast and continue on with your day. And
Yeah.
you know what? I guess LA wanted it because
Yeah.
it worked.
Yeah. I was going to mention something that's kind of cool is every time I go past Grand Central Market in
Right.
LA, it's the longest line, which is insane. But
Yeah.
but I mean, that's a testament to your work, and I've had it. It's wonderful because I am in love with eggs too. Like I love
dude.
the breakfast food.
Yeah,
and
it's like one of
awesome.
the first things you remember. Like
Yeah.
you can hear, like when you're a kid and you hear your mom or dad cooking breakfast, and you can hear the sizzle of the egg. You know, it's like iconic, and I think that like at that point in 2011, eggs were they were underrated. You know, like I think us bringing it out, it just turned into a thing.
Yeah,
you know,
that's a more gourmet thing, right?
Yeah, it's really cool because like eggs are always there. I'm not saying that it wasn't. It's just that like it now it has the spotlight, and I'm glad to have been able to do that, especially for the city that I grew up in. You know.
Yeah, and it's hot too now. I've noticed with I mean it's always been there, but with ramen and with other food like that, it's always I'll have an egg in that.
Ramen.
Yeah.
Man. Like it was weird because like for years omelets were the thing.
Yeah.
And like now it seems like people just started eating omelets again.
Yeah.
And it's like it's always been there. It's just now you have better people making it.
Yeah, that's true. Something I wanted to mention too is your show, The Burger Show, that you created with First Wheat Feast.
Yes.
Great company that I think under complex, which is amazing. But
First Wheat Feast is amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
I fell in love with Hot Ones when I first started watching it because Sean's an amazing host. I know you know him.
Yeah, he's the dude, man. I love that guy.
Yeah, and I always thought that was so cool that you could do a show like that. And I realized like people really bond over food, right? Like that is
sure.
because that's how we survive.
I mean, dude, he has a show based on torture.
Yeah.
But because it's on a hot wing, it's all good.
Yeah, it's fine, right?
Yeah.
Because it's not a huge portion.
Yeah.
But being a part of that brand, walk me through how you pitched Burger Show to Complex or how it worked.
It was actually an opportunity given to me.
Okay.
We had just done I've been doing work with Bob's Burgers, and I did a pop up, and it was circus here in New York. We had 500 people waiting in line in the dead of winter.
Oh my gosh.
And so it got all of this news.
Yeah.
And a good friend of mine, Justin, who I've worked on with before, he hits me up and he's directing a show for First We Feast. And he's like, "Hey, dude, just throwing it out there. I don't know what's your availability or whatever, but there might be a possibility of you, if you're interested, hosting my show called The Burger Show."
Wow.
And I was like, dude, keep me posted. I love burgers, and he knows that, and we've talked about burgers. So, a month later, he hits me up. He's like, dude, if you're down for this, let's do it. We have a month, so let's start brainstorming, episodes, and who do you have our friends that can come onto the show? And we built it up, and now we're 3 seasons strong. We're recording. We're wrapping up our 4th season.
Awesome.
Brainstorming our 5th. So
that's really cool.
Yeah.
The premise too is that you go and find unique burgers, right? Like just for anybody who doesn't know.
There's always a topic, whether it be historically, this was the first burger place, or what's up with vegan burgers or vegetarian burgers, and this whole new meatless trend, or meatless meat trend.
Yeah.
And there's definite specific topics that we nail. It's not just we show up to a restaurant and go, "Oh, this is the best burger I've ever had."
Yeah.
It's more like what's a cultural diverse burger? What's what's a burger without with cheese, without cheese? Why does it matter?
Yeah.
It goes on to deeper burger thought than just what you see on the Food Network.
Yeah, and that's really cool. I mean, burgers, I think, are probably the most common lunch or dinner food that anybody ever gets. So that's something that's hot.
Yeah, I always say burgers are the first food that you become a connoisseur of. It's like burgers and pizza, right?
Yeah.
So when you're a kid, if you ask my nephew, he has a specific way he wants his burger. Well done, no cheese, no pickles, blah blah blah. So you almost it's an embedded aficionado situation where it's I've loved burgers from the get-go. I want it specifically this way. If not, deal breaker.
Right,
You know?
right. Yeah, that's really cool. Well, and one thing that I thought was so neat that you got to do is recently you just released Tony Hawk, an episode with him at his place, and we were talking before about how legendary he is.
Tony Hawk is the man.
As a businessman, as a skater. What was it like to go crash his place and the clips that you guys shot were insane?
I was nervous, man. Like I'm not gonna lie to you. Like I rehearsed all those questions and everything that I asked him for 3 days straight. The night before, I couldn't sleep. I was so excited. And the day finally came. We show up. He wasn't there yet. And it was just like this. There was just this weird power and energy when you walk into Tony Hawk Incorporated. He has like this gigantic skate park in there, half pipe.
Doesn't he have a mega ramp?
Yeah, he has. Yeah, and he has like one of those things where like you can land into like a pit of like foam or whatever.
Yeah, foam pit.
Yeah, like he has everything.
Wow.
And I was doing research on it. It's like he has a team that could break that thing down within like 3 hours and build it back right up. And they travel with this thing.
Yeah.
And so I'm like looking at it, and you just see all these metal rods in this ramp, and I'm like, dude, like this guy is like he's next level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like walking into like 11 Madison Park and seeing their kitchen, and you're just like, this is a whole level of professionalism that like I need to achieve. And I can't wait to get to that point. Like, it was really, really inspiring. And then when he finally showed up, dude, nicest guy, zero ego. He was like it was very easy to talk to him. He let us crash there for 10 hours, man. Like,
wow.
This one scene where he's hitting the half pipe and he has to grab a burger out of my hand. Yeah. We must have taken that like 25 times, and each time he slams on his knees, and like it just sounded like, I was like, if that was me, I would be paralyzed. But this dude's 50 years old, and he's like cranking this out like every 10 seconds, and he wants to get better and better. And like he nailed it a few times, but he was like, I could do it better than that.
Wow.
And it was just like, dude is a G.
What a champ. Yeah.
So then I apply that now. It's like, now when I go on the show, I'm like, no, I'll do it over. Let's do it over. Let's do it over.
Because you have time to perfect.
Yeah. Because if not, then why do it?
Right.
Right.
If you're just putting out half-hearted stuff, it doesn't.
Yeah, when you want to like be Tony Hawk, you have to really do it. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't half-ass it, and I've had talent where they want to get in and get out as fast as possible, and like I don't like that.
Well, and it's cool, like even just with you giving me the time of day to do this with you, it's cool when you're able to connect with somebody who doesn't I don't want to get into this 100%, but who doesn't care about numbers necessarily. Right. In this social media age, it's so focused on that. And but with him, it's just amazing. I've gotten to interview some people in his world, and some more coming up. A couple guys from GoPro and people who live that crazy life, and they're always thinking of pushing it, right? Like pushing it to the next level.
Yeah, that's how like progress happens, man. Yeah. Like you see it, and you know it. You can feel it, and you can say like, dude, this is why he's relevant 4 decades into this.
Yeah. And the father of all of it. Yeah. All of skate and action
and his
sports.
son's a badass.
Yeah.
And
Riley's insane.
And his daughter is a badass. Like that's crazy to see, man. Yeah.
It's really cool what the hustle can get you. But something that I'm kind of interested back to you and kind of your show and your general approach. How do you, like, when you're looking at new opportunities to pursue, whether it's here or in LA or anywhere in the States, how much of it do you consider to be passion driven versus like, I need this to survive driven?
It's a medium. You have to consider both. Yeah. Right. Like, this is like, for example, agreeing to do this with you is like, but you're persistent. But you're also very like humble, and like your approach was great. I respect that. Right. And like, there's some people who like I won't deal with because they feel entitled to the time. And for me, like, making a decision whether it's monetarily success or just doing something because like you feel like the energy and just something natural about it, which is what I felt about this. you have to find the mix of both, right? And like, obviously, if like Disney's gonna come at me and say, "Hey, Alvin, we want you to do something," it's more like, okay, well, you're Disney. I already know you're paying the guy next to me $50,000. Let's play that game because I don't want to be the schmuck that's over there doing it for free while this guy's getting paid, and then I'm giving my heart and soul, and this guy has like 50 other soldiers working for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have to look at each situation differently, but you have to also do what's best for yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of how I've gone about being passionate and also being a businessman.
Yeah.
Because I don't look like a guy who will sit in an office of a CEO for any type of corporation and actually play hardball, and I am. I've done it where I've gone to talk to major corporations, and I've gone to legal battles with people with when I had to.
Yeah.
But you have to show that card. You have to show that all the time.
Yeah.
Because again, to survive.
Yeah.
If not, if you're known as that happy-go-lucky dude, look at history. It doesn't work out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
I wish it does, but at the same time, you have to know.
Yeah.
And doing stuff like this is always fun.
Yeah.
I remember being in like the culinary end of your seat, and so it's like I always try to like pay it forward and do stuff like this and hopefully help your brand if I can.
I appreciate that. And that's the toughest part is the hustle itself, and I keep saying that, but like the hustle itself is so hard because you don't know, like when you're coming up, you don't know how to approach it. Like how much is enough, how much is not enough, how much is in somebody's face, and how much is like me hiding in the shadows.
Exactly.
I mean, it's tough.
The struggle is one thing. It's like it's there. You can't be afraid of it, right? Yeah. Like I tell my cooks, like you fail 100 times a day. You pee on the toilet seat, you failed. Yeah. It's just, are you going to correct that?
Yeah.
Are you going to change yourself enough to where you correct that so that your failure is less and less every day? And that all comes with mental preparation and just conditioning your mind to be able to create success.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's important because if success just happens to fall on your lap and you're not ready, you're gonna fail.
Like where's the prep? Like where did you prep prior to something?
What do you do 10 minutes before you fall asleep?
Yeah.
Every night before I fall asleep, I think about what I'm gonna do the next day, how I'm gonna execute it, and 9 times out of 10, it's a success. And if it's failure, I'm prepared for it.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Totally.
And like you really have to put yourself in that mindset.
Yeah.
In order for you to continue doing what you want to do.
Yeah. That's perfect. And we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. I wanted to talk to you about being a Filipino with your food approach because I have buddies who are also Filipino who I think it's some of the best food in the world. I agree. Some of the best to be raised on, I bet.
I agree 100%. And, I've spent my entire career wondering why Filipino food hasn't like crossed over. And now I've made it a mission. I've made it like my life's goal to just bring Filipino food into the light. And so like, I get invited every year to like Pebble Beach and like Aspen and places where Filipino food is not represented
at all. Yeah.
And I make it a point to have at least the flavors be acknowledged. And now we're trying to open up a Filipino restaurant here in Nolita, which is
called Amboy, right?
Amboy, yeah.
Awesome.
Which is unheard of, right? Because we're in the land of like pizza, and like we're more on the fashion
white
end
people food.
We're more on the more on the fashion end of the stick over here. So it's kind of like food. We're trying to create a culinary destination in this area, and we started off with the usual. It's working, and now we have Amboy, which we're moving up the street, and we really just want to. It's not just Filipino food. It's like a representation of a culture, a country, and so that's the approach that we're going for, and let's hope for the best.
That's awesome. I think Filipino food's so interesting, and I think it reflects you as a person too, because the vibe that you give off is really cool. Your food is really good. Your show is great. Was there something that you identified with knowing that you were a Filipino going at it? Like, I don't mean to go that direction, but
dude, like it's it's inevitable for me, right? Because I love the food. It's different being Filipino and hating the food.
Right.
Right. Because my brother can argue and say that he's that way. He grew up hating Filipino food, like being forced to eat it. And I didn't. I loved it.
Yeah. Lumpia.
Yeah. Lumpia, like everything, sinigang, our stews that we have. I've always cooked it at home. Even professionally, I would cook it for like staff meal for everybody, all my colleagues. And so and I've always had a good response for it. And I was like, dude, like why not? I've been cooking it my whole life. It's literally Amboy, which means American boy, is like my cuisine. It's American. I wouldn't even say like influenced, but like being a Filipino in America, this is how my palate developed.
Sure.
And so like I take traditional Filipino food, and I just like use techniques that I've used or that I've learned in my career, and apply that into Filipino food, creating Amboy food. You know what I mean? So
when is that set to open?
We're looking at late summer,
this year,
early fall in
Wonderful.
2019. Yeah.
Where is it?
It's going to be on Mulberry here in Nolita.
Awesome.
Right on the corner, or in between Kenmare and Spring Street. So it's like
real
2
close.
blocks from here. Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, I have
really
a book
cool.
coming out too called Amboy.
Awesome.
And that's coming out spring 2020.
Congratulations.
Thanks,
man.
Man.
The hustle is real, and I appreciate your drive, and it's awesome.
Man.
It's awesome,
Yeah.
but it's stuff you want to do, right? Like this is all stuff you love to do.
Like I look, if it's not something that like I want to do, or if it doesn't bring love and passion out of it, then I don't want to do it. And like writing a book is cool.
That's like Logic just releasing his book and being a #1 New York Times seller. First rapper to ever do it.
Yeah.
It's insane.
I mean, and that's just stuff that you just add to what you do. And obviously there's a monetary thing that's involved with that. And it's like, you got to value your time.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's like, you're writing a book. You're making a movie. You're doing all this stuff, and it's like
you're making your mark.
Yeah. And like those are the things that you have to weigh out. Like I was saying earlier, like, okay, is this a passion thing or is this a money thing? And once you do the passion thing and it's good, money stuff comes after.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Netflix starts to call, and you know what I mean?
Have they called?
I mean,
We've
we've definitely gotten a lot of attention. I did a Filipino food documentary called Ulam. It's on iTunes.
Cool.
Check it out.
Yeah.
And because of that, and because of the story of the evolution of Filipino food in America, obviously, Netflix, Hulu, everybody's interested.
Wonderful.
But whether or not we have time to do it, again,
Yeah.
weigh out the options. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
well, you got a life ahead of you too, which is awesome. Like there's still the best part about being young and grinding is I think there's time to be able to do a lot of the things you want to do instead of grinding too late and not doing enough.
That's what I say all the time. It's like, you see athletes and actors and actresses like, and even musicians where like they have call times at like 4 a.m. And they're in the age of the peak of their life.
Yeah.
And they just push it and push it and push it and push it until you don't have to anymore. And I look at that and I'm saying that's how it should be, and really not blinking.
Yeah.
Right. Because if you blink, life passes you by.
Yeah.
And I have that strict FOMO where it's like I gotta keep moving.
Yeah.
I'm traveling back and forth to LA every month, and it's a grind, but at the same time I love it.
Yeah.
Because it has to be done, especially for a Filipino guy, brown skin. You have to show your community, you have to show the world, like, dude, we're here also. And that's also my ultimate drive too. It's just like, hey, be there.
Yeah.
The Grammys is there, be there.
Yeah.
Because you're Filipino.
Yeah.
Met Gala, it's a goal. Be there.
Yeah.
But I just want to be like, yo, there's a Filipino chef there, or cook for it. You know? Those are the types of things that like I want to be able to do, and that's kind of where I've honed into the rest of my career. With burgers. Burgers and Filipino food are kind of like where I'm at.
That's really cool. Well, and it's special because I think all of us, we even talked about earlier the college we both attend. There's things in life that make you like frustrated. Maybe you're just stuck in a time of life. For me, it's school right now. Like I cannot express enough how much I want to be out of it.
Agreed.
And that's driving me to do things that are cool like this and just go to New York, take a week off because I'm in my senior year, and you know, like there's stuff that I want to do that I realize there's an urgency. If I do it now, it's a stepping stone and everything comes after that.
College is like it's like a necktie.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like you have it on there because you need to look professional. You have to become professional. But the moment you finish it and you like loosen that tie up, it's like the best feeling in the world. It's refreshing. And that's how I look at college, man. Like you have to do it. You have to wear that. You have to wear that to the T. And as soon as it's over, you know, you're free to do whatever you want. And that freedom is so important because like it's a fork in the road, right? It's like there's one way and there's the other, and you know you could easily go, you know, I'm gonna take two years off.
Yeah.
Again, it's that life passing you by thing. And
dude, I can't stand it when people do that.
Yeah, I can't either.
Oh, don't you want to be done?
Well,
like,
it's like,
why would you move?
Yeah,
off
it's like
that?
I never understood, but you know, everyone has their own way to find their whatever they need to find to motivate them for the rest of their life. And I'm completely different. I'm a Capricorn, and I'm a Capricorn to the T. So it's like, you know, I'll plan out like my underwear for the week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's funny. You're type A. That's
like,
how I am too.
I'm ridiculous like that.
Yeah. That's really cool. Well, I mean, that's part of this too for me is this podcast itself is not the only thing I do. Like I want to be a filmmaker. I want to be a creator, but you know, there's so many ways nowadays where people make you feel like you need to be stereotyped into one thing, right? And you've already hinted at that. But for me, I just see this as an opportunity. I like to come here, do this by myself. Normally I've got a crew and like I knew I wasn't going to have it, but was I going to not do it? No, because I thought this would be a cool connection to make. And you know, I just value you and everybody else who I've talked to.
You're just logging in the hours.
Yeah.
You know, when I had the food truck, there were days where my cashier would call off because he was in college, and you know, you can only have your employees work 5 days a week.
Yeah.
There'd be days where I was running the truck by myself, waking up at 2 a.m, getting the truck ready, getting it ready for breakfast at 7 a.m, driving for 2 hours to the location, you know, running an 8-hour service by yourself, driving 2 hours back in traffic in a food truck. You know, but those things, I'm at that position in life where I look back on it and go, well, that's what got me here. Yeah. You know, this one day when you're up on that state, that getting a statue or whatever, you'll think of like, dude, I remember when I was stuck in traffic and was going to do a podcast with this dude, and you know, like it makes it all better. Yeah. It makes it all better.
Well, and it's also like you've done for me today. Like I just have a desire to help. Like I feel the need to like make people feel like it's accessible to do stuff like this, but it takes a lot of work. But at the same time, it's like you can do the things that you want to do, and that's what this show is.
Right.
And that's why I
went by it the best way. I mean, I even had a conversation about you with like my marketing team and like my PR guys, and I was like, yeah, there's this kid. He's just like constantly emailing me. And I admire that.
Oh, cool.
But
I thought I was annoying.
No, because it wasn't like I've gotten emails from people who were trying to get me on like their podcast or even trying to fill me for their IG stories, and were just so rude. I could easily say
it's a level of respect.
Oh yeah. And again, I respected that about you, and you did it the right way, and you're on the right foot. So, you know, here we are. It's been a month and a half, maybe 2 months in the making.
Communicating. Yeah.
And we're doing it. So, like, dude, that in itself is success, right? And then it's like, dude, if you continue that gusto, that passion that's driving you, options are endless. Like the world is your oyster, really. Yeah. I
didn't mean to make this about me, but I think it's good for anybody who listens to try to, you know, the younger kids who like me are trying to figure this all out. But I mean, it is cool because like I'm making connections that I think matter toward the show and my career.
That's what it's about.
And it's really cool. I mean, it's awesome. But sidebar, this is more of, I know you've done this on your show, but being a West Coaster and moving to the East Coast, what's better, In-N-Out or Shake Shack? What do you like?
I'm so loyal to In-N-Out.
Yeah.
It's not even funny.
Good to hear.
I love In-N-Out with all my heart.
Yeah.
I think it's I wouldn't say it's the best burger in the world.
No.
But
you've had a lot, so
yeah,
I'm sure.
to me it's a burger that when you bite into it, it just brings back all these memories, and it's one of those dishes. And so it's near and dear to my heart, you know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm an In-N-Out guy. Shake Shack, look, I have nothing. I love Shake Shack,
Yeah.
and I don't order it as often as I would like to.
Yeah.
Mark Rosati, which is like the culinary director there, he's one of my good friends. Shake Shack is Shake Shack. It's great. It's a great burger. It's what they do for people and how many people they employ. It's just like it's an amazing infrastructure. I have nothing but love for them, but In-N-Out it's my childhood love, you know.
Yeah. I think that's the place that I've been more consecutively than any other restaurant. Like every week. I'm there every week.
You know what's crazy about In-N-Out is you can have it on a Tuesday afternoon, but you could also have it on your birthday.
Oh, yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that elasticity is ridiculous.
I had Wingstop and In-N-Out on my birthday
Yeah.
this year, and I
You
was
see what I'm
happy
saying?
as ever.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
lemon pepper wings.
Yeah.
Look. Let me tell you this. When I go to LA, that's one of the things I have to eat is Wingstop because the lemon pepper or just the overall care that goes into that franchise in LA is a little bit more than it is here.
Yeah.
And so I crave it.
Yeah.
And it's
So
weird
good.
because this is where buffalo wings were invented.
Yeah.
And there's maybe one or two places I would eat at, and Wingstop is not one.
That's funny. That's really funny.
Yeah.
Well, and I speaking of wings, I mean, going back to Hot Ones, I know they want to try to get you on that show.
Oh man, yeah.
Have you tried any of their stuff?
Well, last year they gifted me the Last Dab.
Did you try it?
Oh yeah.
Is it crazy?
It hurt,
Really?
dude. Yeah, it was we were doing a burger show pop up, and we were like, oh, like imagine they put them on burgers, and so I make my own hot sauce here, at the usual, and so we did kind of like a mock up. The Last Dab is hot, and then they put more of it, as in like that's what everyone does now. So let's put a little bit more.
Oh, you mean when they put a little
at the
extra?
end,
Yeah.
And I'm like, it made my scalp itch. It was that hot.
And you're used to spice.
Yeah.
too.
So I'm like.
How do the celebs do it? That's my question.
It's honestly, I think you black out at some point because
Really?
when you're in that studio, and I've been in that studio, lights are on you. There's like a crew of 20 people. You kind of had to do it just to save face. You know?
Yeah.
You black out, you muscle through, and you deal with it once they say rap. You know?
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Sean, I've looked up to Sean a lot too. Like I mentioned that to you. Like he's somebody I want to go after at some point because I think he'd be cool on this to talk to him. He's awesome.
Dude is the man.
Complex knows what's up.
Yeah, that's First We Feast. Chris and Sarah, they know, they give opportunities to people who don't usually get them, and I think that's what makes First We Feast and Complex awesome. Is that they're not by the book.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm about,
Sure. Yeah, sure. That's awesome. Well, thanks for doing this. It's great
thanks for having me.
to just take a couple seconds in your place, which is about to open.
Yeah, you can tell it's starting to get louder.
It's getting louder. So thanks, man. Thanks for being on.
Thanks for having me.
You can follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter at 1 and 20 Show. Be sure to catch Alvin and everything he's doing coming up.
Yes.
You got a lot going on. Burger Show every Tuesday.
At Alvin Cailan.
Yep.
At Alvin Cailan on everything, Facebook, Twitter, or whatever you want. That's where you can find me, and you'll be posted on everything that I'm doing.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yep. Catch the Burger Show Tuesdays on First We Feast, right?
Yes,
Is that Tuesdays?
Tuesdays,
Yeah.
11 Eastern.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Yeah, be sure to check it out. Thanks for watching, guys.
Later, guys.